You do a talk often to the Techstar founders about customer funding, but for that same batch of founders, there'll be an angel or a VC giving them a talk about how you raise capital in the early stages. So those your message and their message are in some sense conflicting. How do the founders react to those perhaps conflicting messages?
I think it's the customer funded bootstrapping thing either appeals to someone, like it's intrigue, like it resonates for them, and maybe because they're more practical, their feet planted. I find there's a there's sort of like uh, 8 out of 10 startup entrepreneurs will be like, "Yep, we're just going to the customer. I'm sorry, we're just going to the funded route. We're raising money. That's just all there is to it." And then maybe there's 1 or 2 out of 10 that are. I'm wondering if I could do this without raising money,
Mhm.
and maybe it's a 30/70 split maybe. Um, and within those customer funded folks, there's maybe one that's like, I am help, I'm definitely going the customer funded route. That's just what resonates really deeply for me. And maybe there's one or two for every one of those, there's 1 or 2 that are like, don't know, I'm considering both, right? And I don't know which one, whether I should or shouldn't, but I'm
I'm
considering,
open. Yeah.
I'm open and considering both. And then there's usually 7 out of 10 tech startup companies that are like, nope, that's why I'm here. That's so I can get funded and go to the next step.
So Bill, we have probably lots of participants who are thinking about building a SaaS business of some kind. What are the one or two pieces of advice that you give those aspiring entrepreneurs having been down that path yourself?
Find cus First step, find customers who want to pay for the product you're thinking of building, not actually having built necessarily, if you can. So a lot of what I do is business to business. I mean, all my SaaS businesses are selling to business customers, not consumers. Um, and so I'm referring specifically to that category where it's much better if you can go and find either whether it's people you know, people you don't know that you call on, that to find out what is the pain point that I can solve for you, and what is it worth to you? Let's do the back of the envelope math of, if we solve this problem, it means you can save X or Y or make more money, or as by having this capability. And so then doing the back of the envelope math, then asking them, so what would you be willing to pay for it? And I've seen I've seen SaaS businesses that have found customers that are like, this thing is worth millions to us in terms of what it can do to help our business. Um, and then asking the question of, would you be willing to, pay 100,000 up front to be able to see this be able to see this capability, that you could then have that as a prepayment on services for them. I've seen companies do that. I've seen people do that, and it's so getting at least the validation, not only in that they want that, but how much they're willing to pay for it. And you don't have to do you can do that without having any working software. You can do that by just having the conversation if it solves this. Um, from that standpoint, you can do some prototyping on screens and whatnot, and find even more customers that are willing to. You say, yeah, you bring this out, I'm buying it, right? So that's the first step in getting a SaaS business started, is finding that first customer. One of my companies is Survey Gizmo, and my partner in that business was working for a company called Marketing Sherpa, and they were frustrated with the survey software that they were using. It wasn't adequate, and the only other option was an incredibly high priced survey software. So my partner said to the owner of that company, um, what if I build that software for you, what would you be willing to pay? And two, you've got an email list of a million marketing managers, people who are marketers who could use a similar software. Would you be willing to endorse and send out emails to introduce this? If I build this software to introduce it, so he got effectively traded free a huge marketing source that got the company totally off the ground. They sent out that email and people started signing up for the software, and his first customer didn't pay anything other than, but it was hugely valuable to
Great
the
value.
company.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's also finding that connection. An example would be you find a trade association that needs a capability that also all their customers would need. And so you say, if we build this for you or create it for free for you, would you be willing to share it with everyone in your association as a way to pay it back kind of thing? So figuring out that unique no cost, low cost, or way of getting some commitments on knowing you're on the right path for creating something of value is the biggest thing. And then everything else is, I think, secondary to that, because you just build on top of it. You get the testimonials, you get the case studies, and you start to figure out how to get the word out that
That this works.
based on the
Yeah.
effectiveness that it works. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, Bill, it's so good of you to spend some time with me. I know how busy you are, and I'm really intrigued by the way this model works, especially for SaaS businesses. So thanks so much for bringing this to life. It's great to see you again, and again, thanks so much for joining us.
Well, John, I love that you are, that you're spreading the word about this, because it has been one of it's been such a joy in my life to have these vibrant customer-funded businesses that are very profitable and growing and independent and self-sustaining and without the stresses of investors or where they're going to get their next dollar. It's just been so great to grow these companies. I'd love for other people to be able to benefit from customer-funded businesses as well. So thanks for spreading the word out there.
Thanks. Great stuff. See you, Bill.